What is a mind trick you know of? You know that awkward moment when you and a stranger are walking towards each other but need to get past each other and you get confused and end up doing a left to right dance? Not for me. When I walk through large crowds of people, to avoid walking into anyone, I simply stare at my destination. I look no one in the eyes. People actually will watch your eyes and they avoid the direction you are going. If I look into people's eyes as we are walking into each other, we are sure to collide. You have to let people know where you intend to go with your eyes. It always works for me. Try it. Learned this one secondhand from a smuggler. People tend to notice things they are looking for, and once they don't find it, or even better, they do find it, they ignore everything else. So if you want to slip something by someone, make sure they catch you on something that doesn't matter, and they won't focus on what you're hiding. The story behind this is that in Berlin, while the wall was up, there was this smuggler who used to ride every day from East Berlin into West Berlin, or perhaps it was vice versa, I don't remember, with a bag of sand on the back of his bicycle. Every time, the checkpoint guards would cut open the bag of sand, search through it, find nothing, and let him go on his way. And every night he would return. They never realized that he was smuggling bicycles. Whenever you are negotiating, take long, very long pauses before you ask questions. It makes people vomit the truth. In class, if it's a presentation where someone has to present without looking at notes or anything like that, and while they're up in front of classroom presenting, some people forget what they're talking about, space out, freak out, and lose their train of thought. To counter this, nod your head at the end of each sentence they say, confirming what they're saying. They will somehow use this as a motivator, and 9 times out of 10 will keep presenting without fault. If you're in a crowded social group, restaurant, bar, party etc., and you want to know if someone is checking you out, try this. Turn sideways from them. They will be either 90 degrees, right or left of you. Then very obviously, look at your watch. Even if you don't wear one, lift your wrist, then point at your watch and nod thoughtfully. Overacting is perfectly acceptable. If they are keeping tabs on you, even peripherally, they will have a sudden urge to know the time, and will either look at their own watch, cell phone, or casually look at the various obvious places where someone would put a clock. I hypnotized myself into quitting smoking. Every time I had the impulse to light up, I simply told myself, what a strange thing for a non-smoker to think. Eventually I convinced myself that the cravings were anomalous and could safely be ignored. The door in the face technique. The general idea is that you ask someone for a huge favor which you're relatively confident they'll say no to, then you ask them for a small favor. Subjects who initially refuse the huge favor have a much higher compliance rate on the small favor than if you just ask directly for the small favor, or if you present both at once. If they end up saying yes to the huge favor, that's also good. Hey, can you set up a threesome with you and your sister this weekend? No? How about just a blowjob then? Like that? I'm a paramedic. When a patient is possibly faking unconsciousness, we have 2 tricks to determine if they are really unconscious or not. First, you can lightly brush their eyelashes with your finger. Their eyes will flutter if they are faking it. Alternatively, if they are on their back, you can lift their arm over their face and let it go. A conscious person will drop their arm away from their face. Finally, a trick to see if someone is faking a neck injury or neck pain. Put a thermometer in their mouth while checking their vitals, then ask them a yes or no question while looking them in the eyes. If you aren't looking directly at them, they tend to answer with a strained aha or UNH, but if you're looking directly at them, they will usually nod their head. Someone who is faking the pain can do this with ease. And yes, there are a lot of calls where people fake pain, illness, etc. for various reasons. If you're trying to find something, try looking right to left as opposed to left to right. Your eyes tend to skim over things if you search in the direction you are used to reading in, so skim the opposite way. It takes me a bit more effort to do this, but I notice more details. When talking to someone, If you copy their posture, they will subconsciously perceive you as a friendlier person. This does not work with the little old lady that's hunched over. If I need to remember to do anything at all the next day, I will put something in my room out of place. This works every time. Say for example, I really want to remember to email my professor. Before leaving for class, I will put a movie on the floor. I will initially think, why is that? Oh right, email Ernie. A key technique for me. If you ask a question and receive only a partial answer, respond with polite silence. Simply wait. A more complete answer will usually follow. When trying to convince somebody to do something, offer them two options, either of which is okay with you. Humans have a hard time selecting outside of the given options. Example, so, did you want me to pick you up at 7 o'clock or 7:30? Did you want me to pick up the $50 one or the $35 one? Etc. There's something in sales called the Sullivan nod. Basically, when you're asking someone something, nod up and down while you're asking. Their mirror neurons start firing, and they begin nodding and agreeing with you subconsciously. 60% of the time it works every time. I live in inner city Akron, Ohio. Needless to say, there is a pretty high crime rate around the university center. So I took a self-defense course at the university and learned the best self-defense tricks I could have never thought of. Act crazier than the person attacking you. I'm talking mental patient on PCP with a bad case of Jack Nicholson insane. 9 times out of 10 they will see you as unpredictable and not want to even mess with you. When trying to get away with something sketchy, not illegal per se, but frowned upon, walk into the place like you own it. Don't glance around. Don't even stop for a second or look confused. 9 times out of 10 nobody will question you. You can get away with lots of things that way. Have someone lay on their back on the ground and hold their legs straight up so their body is making a 90-degree angle. Have them close their eyes and relax their body completely. Hold that position for about 60 seconds. Then very slowly start lowering their legs towards the ground. It's critical they keep their eyes closed and ask them to tell you to stop when they feel their legs are about to hit the ground. They will always say stop way before it hits the ground, and then you say, well now I'm going to drop your legs through the floor, and keep lowering their legs down onto the ground slowly. It feels really weird and always works, but I guess it's more of a mind/body trick. The blood drains out of their legs, and with their eyes closed they can't get a good read on where their legs are. I used to wait tables and use this trick quite a bit. When I would present the check, I would put the tip I wanted in the top corner of the receipt and circle it. Just a whole number and no dollar sign. It would look like it could mean anything, a table number, whatever. It doesn't work if it is an outrageous amount, but I would usually put about 25% of the total, rounded up. Worked 9 out of 10 times. Courtesy of Darren Brown. If you want to keep the seat next to you free on a crowded train, bus, etc., look at the people walking towards you and tap the seat with your hand. I think this one is pretty well known by now, but when high-fiving, look at their elbow and you'll never miss. If you want to make a good first impression, you should make eye contact and copy the other person's actions. For example, if you see the other person fold his/her arms, then do it also, just don't be obvious about it. After a while the person will feel more comfortable around you. You can then try doing something like fixing your glasses or hair, or touching your ear, and see if the other person does the same. Then you know you are in, and the person is copying you without knowing it. That means she likes you. Don't know if it counts, but in managing and sales we are taught to use specific wording. If I want a customer to go get 2 more movies to get the sale discount and me commission, we say, why don't you go grab 2 more? Instead of, do you want to grab 2 more? The difference between it being an open-ended and a yes/no question is money in my pocket. Proofread documents backwards. You'll catch more misspelled words. My favorite works best in sports. It's more of a way to get into other people's mind and screw them up. Say you're playing against the guy/girl who is just on fire, completely in the zone and dominating. Casually ask, hey, what did you change to X better? Or something to that effect. I've done it in volleyball, where I ask a guy who's been hitting amazing, I've never seen you jump so high before, what did you change? More often than not it throws them off their game. Done it in hockey too, hey, your shot looks amazing. What foot are you leading with? If you liked this video, don't forget to smash the like button. For more hits and giggles, subscribe.